Brand new whip, got 4 keys.
Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is CJ and we get into beauty and fashion on this channel. So if that's your vibe, please subscribe. So today we are recreating the viral Zendaya makeup look. Now I'm not sure what red carpet she stepped out on, but this look was a vibe. So I wanted to try to recreate it using drugstore makeup. So I'm gonna go through all of the products that I used and we are going to recreate this look. Okay, so I first like to start by prepping my skin. Here I'm putting on the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base Moisturizer, and then I go straight into using the Maybelline Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser. This helps my pores to look smaller and my makeup to last a lot longer. I like to go ahead and use the fan so that all of my products can dry down before I start putting on my makeup. So here I'm doing a color corrector. I don't usually color correct, but I decided to go ahead and try to color correct for this look. I'm using the LA Pro Girl Conceal in the color Orange. I put that under my eyes and on the sides of my mouth and just blend that out with a beauty blender. Now I'm using the Maybelline Lume Matte Foundation. I'll put the color on the screen. And I like to use a flat brush to go ahead and pat that in. You don't want to drag it, but you want to pat it into your skin. And you also want to go ahead and bring it into your ears as well as down your neck. I do like to take it into my hairline a little, but I don't stress about that because we are going to add our bronzer at the end. So now I had to take a step back and do my eyebrows. This is me just drawing them on. I have a regular brown pencil from the beauty supply store, but I will put the name at the bottom of the screen. I just like to line out the bottom, and then in my eyebrows, I like to take hair-like strokes so that I get a more realistic brow. Then I like to go in with the spoolie and I like to brush the brows up. That way I bring all of the product into my brows to fill it in even more. Next, I like to outline my brows with the LA Pro Girl Conceal in Warm Honey. I do usually like to go over the top and the bottom with the brighter color first, and then I take a skin tone color, which my color is Beautiful Bronze, and I go over the top only so that I don't have the white line outlining my eyebrows. However, this time I had already done my foundation, so it just blended in very seamlessly, so I didn't have to go over a second time with the color that was my skin tone. Now I'm taking a flat rounded brush and I am just dragging the concealer upwards so that it blends into my skin and the line doesn't stay. Next, I'm going in with my contour. So I'm using a very old makeup palette, the Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I'm taking the darkest color, ash brown, and I'm going directly under my jawline and right on my cheekbones. I'm not going into the hollows of my cheek, but right on my cheekbones. And then I'm also outlining my temples. Then I like to go in with my blush. Here I am using the NYX Fat Cheeks blush in the color Dragon Fruit Drip. I like to do a method called underpainting where I put the blush on first and then I go back over it with my concealer. This is my first time using this blush, so I'm not 100% sure how I feel about it. I'll have to use it a couple more times and report back and let you guys know. I'm going back over my lids with the LA Pro Girl Conceal in Warm Honey. This is just to serve as a base for my eyeshadow so that it shows up a lot better. So for this look, I decided to do a smoky eye. Girl, please don't judge my makeup because I have literally been using this makeup palette for years. I tried to go look for it in Walmart, but they did not have any more. But this is the Makeup City palette and I'm using the darkest brown and I'm just going directly into my creases. And I'm also bringing that up into the front of my eyebrows so that it blends better and you don't see the white line across the entire length of my brow. Next, I'm going to go in with another Maybelline palette. This is the Chai Latte, and I'm going in with this nude color, and I'm doing that just on my lids. I'll put the color below. After I have that on my lids, I'm going to go back in with that brown color just to make sure it blends together. So I'm just going to go into my crease again, and I'm just swirling it to make sure that the brown color that I put on my lid and the brown color that I put in my crease, that there's a smooth transition and you don't just see it like each color individually. Now it's time for my favorite part. It's putting on the concealer. So I'm going in with that LA Pro Girl Conceal again, and I'm going in with the color Warm Honey. I'm just putting that underneath my eyes, on my forehead, down my nose, on top of my lip, and on my chin. I love putting on the concealer because I feel like it just brings your look to life. Like, I love the bright look. I love just looking like so done up, and the concealer is just the added touch, the perfect touch to the makeup. So when I start putting on concealer, I start getting really excited. Next, I'm going to use a flat, dense brush to pat that in. I usually do not use beauty blenders because I feel like it takes away too much of the makeup. So I like to use a brush because it helps to pat it in and spread it without removing a lot of the makeup, especially from under my eyes. So I'm just going to take that brush and I'm going to pat lightly and move the concealer around to the places where I want it to be, but I'm not going to drag it or I'm not going to press too hard because I don't want to remove the makeup from my face. Now it's time to outline that nose, honey. So I am taking that Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, the one that I use to contour my face, and I'm taking the darkest color and I'm just going down the side of my nose, and I'm taking it little by little. I'm not using a lot of product at once, so that's why you'll see me just go over it again and again, because I like to build it. I don't like to put a lot of product because if you put it on, you cannot easily remove it. And then I'm going to take this small crease brush. This is usually supposed to be used for like eyeshadow crease. However, I like to use it to blend out the side of my nose. Here, I'm just buffing it out until it becomes the color that I want, like the lightness that I want. I don't want the line too harsh, but I still want like a remnant of it. So I'm just buffing it out until it gets to the desired look. Now I like to blend everything with this powder brush. So I use this brush because it does remove a little bit of the makeup, but this brush is very good at blending. So once I got everything in place, I like to blend it all out. So I use it on the side of my nose. You see me here using it on my contour places. I'm just going to keep doing that until the makeup looks as blended as I want it to. So now I'm going in with the Can't Stop Won't Stop by NYX in the color Golden, and I am just replacing that on all of the areas where I placed my concealer the first time. Now watching this back, I realized that I should get a brighter color because when I tell you I like a bright look, honey, I mean exactly that. However, I'm just going back in all of the places to make sure that those areas are bright, and I'm just repeating this step one more time, just gonna place it and blend it out. Okay, so yep, same exact steps, just blending it out. This time I want to make sure I have my placement exactly where I want it to be, because after this we're going to go on with powder. So when I start to blend under my eyes, I am going to bring that down on the sides of my nose a little bit more. That way the makeup is not just concentrated under my eyes, but it's in the T-zone of my face so that it looks like it's purposefully done and not like done by accident. Since we place more concealer, we just have to go into the edges of that and blend that out so that it blends in with the rest of my face. So that's what you see me doing here. I'm literally going along the edges of the spaces. I'm not going directly into the space. Next, I'm going into my setting powder. So I'm using the Huda Beauty Ube Birthday Cake on the outer corner of my eyes, and then I'm using Banana Bread on the inner corner. So I like to take the powder and just rub it off a little bit on the back of my hand, and then I like to place it. So for the Ube Birthday Cake, I'm just using the little mini powder brush or the powder puff that comes with it, and then you'll see me use like a larger powder puff for the banana bread color because I like to use that on most of my face. And this is me using the banana bread color, and I am just using that everywhere that you see I have put concealer the first time. I'm just going over all of those areas. Now I'm going to take my Rare Beauty blush. This is the color Thriving, and I'm going to place it directly over the Ube Birthday Cake setting powder that I use on both sides of my face. So I'm taking it a little bit closer to my eye because I do love that pink under eye look. Like, I am living for it. So I'm just taking it a little bit closer to my eye, and I'm also going to bring it a little bit into like under my eye, under my eyebrow. Now I'm going in with a pressed finishing powder, and this is by the Beauty Lab. You can get this at Walmart. This is a skin tone powder that I like to go over my face with, especially the contour areas, to like kind of dull it down just a little bit, but not too much. Alright, so it's time for another favorite step of mine, and that is bronzer. So I am using the Milani Baked Bronzer in the color Sicilian Sunset, and I'm just going over all of my contoured areas. So I'm going over my temples, I am going to go over my cheeks, and I'm going to do my nose. Now, when doing my makeup, I don't usually do this, but this time I decided to bring the bronzer up a little bit into the blush, so that way it gives me more of a sun-kissed look instead of like just the outlining of my face. So the same brush that I used to blend out the contour the first time with the concealer, I'm using that this time to apply the bronzer. And again, I'm just building it because I don't like for my nose to look super dark. So I'm just taking it little by little, and I'm going to blend it out. So now I'm using the Make It Last finishing spray by Milani. This is a matte finishing spray. I have really oily skin, so a lot of my products are going to be geared towards keeping oil control. And before I put on my lashes, I do like to go on with the mascara. I'm using the Maybelline Sky High Mascara just to make my lashes a little bit stiffer so that the lash strips are easier to apply. Now, I did apply them off camera because, girl, sometimes it's a hit or miss on how these lashes like to go, so I just did them off camera. Now I'm going underneath my eye with the eyebrow pencil that I used earlier, and I'm still going in with the dark brown color, and I'm just outlining my waterline. And here I'm just applying that mascara on my bottom lashes as well. Now I'm using the Milani Baked Blush in Pink Panna Cotta, and I like to use my finger with this because this blush is very light. If you use a brush, it's going to take forever for it to show up on your skin. So I just use my finger and pat it on my skin, and then I like to blend that out with my brush. Okay, so it's time for the reason we're all here. So I am using just a white shade out of this makeup palette that I got from the beauty supply store. It's like a white, like fairy dust type of color. I can't recall the color, but I'll put it on the screen. Now, I was having a little bit of a hard time like getting it in the right areas, like getting my placement right. So I wasn't too happy with the way like it's looking right now, just because it kind of looks like I went to sleep and woke up with like severe eye boogers instead of like a blended seamless look. But I'm just gonna keep trying to apply it and try to get it to blend out to the desired look. Okay, so I'm just going back in with a little bit of bronzer to kind of like blend out that eyeshadow a little bit, just to get it to look how I want it, because it was a little bit like just too messy for me. It was all over the place. So you just see me here trying to fix the look to get it to look how I want it to. All right, so for the finishing touches, I'm just going in with that same pencil that I use for my eyebrow. I use that literally for every part of my face that requires a pencil. I'm just lining my lips. I'm going in with the Milani Lip Plumper in the color Luminoso. And then I'm going to go over it with a lip gloss from a local black-owned beauty brand named Zaya Rose Collection. Here I'm showing you all of the colors that I got from them, but I'm going to use Cherry Blossom because I love a light pink lip gloss. All right, girlies, so that is it. Let me know if you followed along. How did your makeup come out? Did you like it? Did you not? But if you enjoyed the video, please do not forget to give me a thumbs up on this video and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Until next time, I will see you in the next video.